Meanwhile, to the NFL, and over the weekend, Deshaun Watson and the Texans agreeing to a 4-year, $160 million contract extension. Watson will make $39 million a year in base salary on average. That makes him the highest paid player in the NFL during that time frame. And in total, this is the second biggest contract extension signed this offseason behind the deal for Patrick Mahomes. And while Watson's overall money comes nowhere close to that figure, he'll be making just $30 million less in total guaranteed money than Mahomes, while having a contract that will end 5 years sooner. So purely dollar on dollar, if everything works out well, he could wind up making much more money in the long run than Patrick Mahomes. Here's the squad this morning. Ryan Clark, Mike T, and Kimberly Martin are all here with us this morning. And let me start with my general manager. Mike T, tell me about the deal. How do you like this deal from both sides for Deshaun Watson and the Texans?
Greetings. Starting with Houston, we got to give them a ton of credit. They solidified their franchise quarterback. He had 2 years to go. They were proactive, and all the mistakes they had this offseason, losing their best player, DeAndre Hopkins, absorbing a bad contract with David Johnson, overpaying Laramie Tunsil, they deserve a ton of credit because now they have the cornerstone of their franchise for at least the next 5 years. And from Deshaun Watson's standpoint, you nailed it. He has over $100 million in guaranteed money, but unlike Patrick Mahomes, he will get another bite of the apple. He'll only be 31 years old when this contract expires, so this is a win-win.
Yeah, dollar for dollar, this is probably at this point the best contract any player in the NFL has. Ryan Clark, your initial reaction, what does this mean for Deshaun? What does it mean for the Texans? What does it mean for the AFC?
I mean, for Deshaun Watson, he got the deal that he was supposed to get. And I think the first thing I thought about was, man, Dak was right. Dak had the right numbers. He was just the wrong person, because this is the deal that many talked about that Dak Prescott wanted to get and he couldn't get it, but Deshaun Watson does because he's earned it, he deserves it, but more importantly, Bill O'Brien and that organization thought that he deserved this type of deal. And Bill O'Brien had to do this after making some of those moves that you heard Mike talk about. He had to come back and say, you know what, I'm with this franchise, and going forward, this is going to be our face. We will build around Deshaun Watson. So this is a great deal for Deshaun, a great deal for the Houston Texans, and now moving forward, Deshaun has to continue to show some of that Michael Jordan stuff that Dabo Swinney said he had, because he's made some plays for this team when they just didn't have playmakers around him other than DeAndre Hopkins. It's going to be more important this year that he does that, but also gets smarter in some situational football moments that takes him and puts him in the top 5, where this contract says he clearly is.
Meanwhile, Kimberly, RC got us where we were headed, which is the first thought you had when you saw the Deshaun Watson contract and you started thinking about the Cowboys. What was the first thought that went through your mind?
This is what you do when you believe in your quarterback. And that's what the Dallas Cowboys are showing us. The way they've handled the whole Dak situation, the negotiations, the way that whole situation played out, they're telling us that Dak is good. They like him. But he's the best option we have when we're not really 100% committed to him. The Texans showed you how you do it when you believe in your guy. That Zoom call with Deshaun and his family and Dabo, the statement that Deshaun put out for the community, the organization, that entire love fest, that's what you want. You want that synergy. You, as a player, you want to feel like these guys have my back and they are going to ride with me. And unfortunately, in Dallas, it's clear that that's not the case.
That is so well put. The way I would describe it, Mike Tannenbaum, is the Texans have shown Deshaun Watson that they love him. The Cowboys act with Dak Prescott like they like him. And in the long run, Mike T, you've been talking about this to your credit for a while. What did this weekend cost the Cowboys in actual dollars?
Greedy, it cost them a minimum of $40 million. A year ago, when Jerry Jones, for whatever reason, rewarded Zeke Elliott for holding out in Cabo, could have, and more importantly, should have paid Dak Prescott somewhere between $32 to $33 million. There's a number of quarterbacks there. Goff, Wentz, clearly that was the market. Now that deal has to be above $40 million. So on a 5 or 6 year extension, that's at least $40 million. Washington, Philadelphia, the New York Giants, they are doing backflips. Their competitor just lost $40 million for making a terrible strategic mistake. And I'll tell you what's going to be interesting. Jerry Jones will not have leverage. At the end of the season, they either have to pay Dak Prescott about $30.5 million on a one-year deal, or he walks. And if he walks, now they have to replace him with somebody else. And who are they going to get? Because he's productive, he's young, he's high character, and he's won playoff games. So I think Jerry Jones made a terrible mistake, and at a minimum, it cost him $40 million.
Yeah, you're right, and durable. We'll throw that in as well. He never gets hurt. RC, quick final thought. What do you think of this angle?
Man, I think this is true. I think what Mike Tannenbaum's saying is exactly right. And Dak Prescott right now is doing backflips for signing the franchise tag and giving himself another opportunity to get the money he thought he deserved in the first place. And so either the Cowboys are going to pay him or someone else is going to have to pay him market value. Because when you look at Deshaun's deal, what it did was really look at the next traditional deal, which is Russell Wilson, who many believe is right behind Patrick Mahomes as the top quarterback in this league. He got $4 million more a year than Russell Wilson got. He's going to get more cash money and more cash than Patrick Mahomes will for the next 5 to 6 years. That's a big-time deal. That's a deal that really sets the market that allows Dak Prescott to break the Cowboys' backs either by getting that extra money or going play quarterback for somebody else. They should have got it done.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.